Let's bring in David Otto, who is the director of the Geneva Centre for Africa Security and Strategic Studies. He joins me now from London. David, always a pleasure to speak with you. Before we sort of get into the nitty-gritty of these elections, I want to begin by asking you, I came across issues of technical issues, logistical issues across some polling stations. Is this going to be a problem?
This is normal, of course. We've seen issues where there are faults in ballot papers, things like that. It's very normal in these kind of elections, but it's not a significant factor. I think one of the major concerns when I talk to people on the ground is the very low turnout. As of 4 p.m., UK time, we have about 12 million votes, which is about 56% out of the 22 million. This is comparatively low to the previous presidential elections. But I think that is what the major concerns will be. We haven't had any big issues of insecurity. But of course, I think, this is quite a disappointment, considering the fact that more people registered in this particular presidential, gubernatorial and parliamentary election more than the previous election time. So quite concerning with the low turnout of voters.
I'm looking at a statement from Kenya's Election Commission saying that that voter turnout is likely to be around 60%. So you have apathy on one hand. A lot of the youth, actually, when they look at the two top candidates, they're basically saying that these people don't represent us. And what Adeshewa was saying in a report from Nairobi is that, this is not going to be enough to bring sort of the paradigm shift that the country may be seeking.
Yes, of course. I mean, the candidate, like William Ruto has made it very clear in his campaign that he's for the hustlers, it calls it, which, is the hustler movement. I mean, he's talking about bringing the economy and jobs for the youth. But concerns are still lingering about his own background in terms of allegations of corruption, but also the fact that he's been there, as a vice president for over 10 years in politics. And the question is, what is it that, he'll bring on the table now? I mean, for a candidate like Raila Odinga, who has run almost for the 5th time now, the question is, whether he's just running because, the opportunity comes or because he has the interest of Kenyans. But for somebody who fought for multipartyism, he's seen by many as a favorable candidate. I mean, in one of the electoral posts that we've seen today in the region of Narok, where some votes have preliminary been released, he seems to be edging forward. But it's still too early to call.
Mm-hmm. David, how important are these elections and the result for East Africa, for the region?
Extremely important. I mean, Kenya is a very critical and big player in the East African region, and of course, we're talking about an election that will change the entire politics of the country: a presidential election, a gubernatorial election, and a parliamentary election. I mean, Kenya wants to be the beacon or one of the main beacons of democracy in that part of the world. And therefore, how smoothly this election goes, especially without any risks of insecurity or post-electoral violence, it will stand as a very significant, country for all the other African countries in the East to copy. But we watch, and hopefully everything goes well.
David Otto, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.